Hi, Gardener's Beehive guy here. Right, so I keep getting asked what is natural beekeeping. There's no defined legal parameters what defines commercial, conventional, natural beekeeping. However, I'm completely off the scale as far as natural beekeeping is concerned, and I'd actually call this a honeybee hosting system opposed to a keeping system. The main reason why they call beekeepers beekeepers is because they find the queen and they cut its wings off, and then you're a beekeeper. With virtually all beekeeping systems, you can actually find the queen and cut her wings off. Bar, I would say, the Gardener's Beehive and the Warray system. Top bar hive, all the Langstroth type hives, anything with frames or boxes, you can disassemble the thing, you can look for the queen, you can find her, and you can cut her wings off. Not to say that all beekeepers do, but the potential for one to be able to do that is there. The other thing that one can do is feed sugar water. Warray hive, not so easy, but it can be done, and you do get roofs that you can fill up with sugar water to be able to feed them. My system, there's nothing available, and I don't advocate to anybody to actually make something to feed honeybees in these. The main cavity does not change volume, and you can do the same sort of thing with a Warray hive, but not really. Not really. This is completely unusual in that the honey boxes go on the sides and we do not affect the main cavity at all. So commercial beekeeping, they will do all the evils. They will do chemicals, sugar water, take all the honey, move the bees around, import queens, regardless of diseases and things, because you can mask a lot of the diseases like European foul brood. You can actually mask that with imported bees using chemicals. So that commercial do all the nasties. Then you get your local beekeeper guy, and he can do everything that a commercial beekeeper does, because everything is available, all those chemicals, everything is freely available, and it is approved by a lot of beekeeping associations. So if your local beekeeper says he does natural beekeeping, there's no defined line as to where his perception of what natural beekeeping starts and ends. But there are a couple of guidelines by a couple of different enthusiasts as to what they consider personally as what natural beekeeping is. And conventionally, natural beekeeping is no chemicals, no sugar water, and no inbreeding or breeding of queens. It's all natural fertilized queens. They will mate naturally with the bees in the environment. No moving of bees around, so no loading them up on a van or a truck and moving them to wherever the flowers are. Pretty much just leaving them alone. Whereas what I do, which is wild honeybee hosting, they will move in on their own and you just leave them alone. However, with hosting, you can, using my system, get a little bit of honey. My system is the only system that complies with every permaculture ethic, which is unusual to my system, in that mine is the only system that complies with every permaculture ethic, because one of the ethics that beekeepers can't abide with is the fact if you set up a system and you leave it and you come back years later, that system needs to be still running. With all other beekeeping systems, it would have gone to pot because of cross combing, or it just doesn't. You can't leave most beehives alone and come back years later and it'll still be okay. The other thing is you have to be able to produce a harvest but without affecting the bees. And you can do both of those things with this system. But in addition to all of that, this is the only self-regulating system. In other words, the bees will dictate how much honey you will get, not just taking and hoping for the best. Even with the beehive system, you are just taking a set amount regardless of what's happening in the environment. Whereas with this, it's self-regulating. That's pretty much commercial, conventional, natural, and then what I do, which is wild bee hosting, or honeybee hosting at least. If you have any questions, please do give me a shout. Thank you very much. Cheers.